Hey there, folks. Seth here with One Board Dad. We're back in the wonderful world of Minecraft. I've actually been otherwise crafting, I guess you'd say, in the last few days, which is why this world went a little bit on hold. I have made I'm not necessarily going to say ill-advised, because, I mean, your situation may differ. From my standpoint, it may not have been the best decision for at least my past week. I made the decision to dip my toes back into the Warcraft pool, basically, going back and trying the Battle for Azeroth expansion and all that. I kind of phased out of Warcraft. I've been honestly phasing in and out of Warcraft since back in Mist of Pandaria, but I've been completely out of the loop since, I don't know, like early, maybe mid Legion, I suppose. So if you're not a Warcrafter, that won't really make any sort of sense, but if you are, you kind of know where I'm coming from. So decided to play through, wound up going in, spending like pretty much the entire week, at least my gaming side of my week, doing that, taking character through to max level, doing the questing and the zones and all that. And so I'm at that point in there. Ooh, it's not something I want to drop. There we go. At the point in that playing that I'm kind of at the point of having to decide, do I want to go through all the process now of like grinding reps and grinding gears and doing all the, all the hamster wheel stuff, just to get bigger numbers, that kind of thing. So that said, not going to talk too much more about the Warcraft, because there's lots of other people much more informed who can talk about that kind of thing. What we are going to do today is actually just kind of a little hodgepodge of here, this, that, and the other. I would like to get a little bit of power going. It's not going to be a huge amount of power, but it should be probably the simplest power I've come up with. I started poking around with like extreme reactors, and I don't want to build like some massive, whatever the big thing is, like 16 by 16 by 16. I don't know if that's the biggest, or 30. I think it's bigger than that. I think it's like 32 by 32 by 16 or something crazy. Oh, don't rain on me. Okay. Either way. So I don't want to build like some huge giant chunk. I already have one big enough chunk of stuff over there that's not really going to work. And we're going to repurpose, not the whole building over there by any stretch, but we're going to actually use the top of that to do my power plan. And then we're going to set up some storage for power, some really super basic stuff, use some of the tools that look to be in the pack that I've never played with before. And I also want to make sure I get a nether star. So we're going to do a little battle royale wither style. So my, believe I showed this in the last episode. Like I said, it's been a little while. I should go back and check. But whatever structure I set up, I do have some witch water in there, turning my skeletons into withers. And I am getting wither dust. I am getting, where are they? A few wither skeleton skulls. So I have enough to get a wither going. Only really need one. As soon as I get one nether star, I don't really need to make any more. We always could go with like Woot with some big nether star factory that may produce more RF, or not RF, more EMC than my emerald chicken farm here. But I did shift my chicken farm over to being producing octuple compressed cobblestone at this point. So right now, just in the time since I emptied this out, I've got 1.4 billion worth of EMC kicking there. So pretty much going to stop checking in on my EMC factory, because in my pool of, or in my, I don't know, whatever it be, the EMC bank, I've got 8 billion going anyway. So that's enough. I can go check. So that said, no more EMC like generation for this playthrough, I don't think, unless we get into something that just requires an absolute massive amount of EMC for some reason, more than what we've got. So that said, let's jump into things. Let's do power first, power before wither. So the power I'm going to go with, we even checked the quest book and went into like, well, okay, so there is environmental tech. We could go into an environmental tech solar array, but I was looking at that. It's going to take time to get to something that's really significantly worthwhile, because I've got to go through basically these void resource things. Previously, I'm pretty sure, if we look at environmental tech, before there was a change made to the pack, you could get, I think, where are they? Where are they? Where are they? These crystals. You can still get the first 4 levels with EMC. They did drastically increase the amount of EMC it takes for each one. So like originally when I was first playing this in like version 1.0, all the crystals cost 128, so super cheap, and I'm pretty sure you could craft these out of previous crystals. So I don't think you even needed to get like the actual material. That said, now I actually have to go make the void ore miners and get the basic items, and even for the basic material, or the first 4 tiers, I can at least EMC those pretty quickly. I just need to get like 1 of each of them. But then to get like the big kicker. I think this is probably, if I was going to play this, or if I am going to play this, kind of more long term. Really, the goal is to get some Aethium crystals. So get a tier 6 solar panel with tier 6 panels in it. There you're producing like 1.8 million RF per tick or something, if you can believe the numbers on the internet. But right now I'm not going to go that way. Also, I don't really want to go big reactors and big turbines like we were discussing. I don't want like some big hunka chunka something going on, even if I put it in like another chunk and have it loaded or whatnot. So what we're going to do, despite the rain happening at the moment, we are going to still go solar power. So we're going to be green, we're going to be eco-friendly. I don't know if this is really going to be super eco-friendly because I'm going to plaster the world with, I don't know, a lot of produced materials, but this thing's holding a lot. We're going to use, instead of the environmental tech though, we're going to use, if we just look at solar, there's a couple different solars. So there's like, this isn't necessarily IC2, but it's kind of an EU equivalent kind of thing. So you got to do a lot of IC2 stuff. And honestly, IC2 just annoys me. You've got the environmental tech solar panels. You do have some other solar panels from different mods, but the main thing I'm going to look at is Ender IO. So if we see this Ender IO, there's a vibrant photovoltaic cell, produces 160 whatever UI per ticks are, but basically I think that the system just converts those to RF per tick. So you can see this is right now in rain producing 128. So we do get diminished returns per cell in the rain than we would get in full sunshine, which would be 160. Either way, it's super easy, it's passive. The only real thing you have to take into consideration, it's got to be able to see the sky. So whereas an extreme reactor, you could probably build it with less of a square footage than what we're going to need, like in terms of the actual footprint. You got to build a lot more blocks. You got to build them up. If you could stack these, they would be super efficient. Like the per block creation is really good, in my opinion. So that said, if we look at these, I do have one, as you can see, but these are not EMCable. If they were, that'd be absolutely amazing. This would make it super simple, super fast, but it's close enough, basically. If we look at the materials, you need vibrant alloy ingots, which we can EMC, and I have in my little EMC dealy-do. Let's even go in here, and I'll just start pulling some materials to produce with. So we need vibrant alloy ingots, vibrant. I'm planning to produce, let me get out my handy dandy calculator. Like I said, what I'm going to do is basically coat the top of the mob space with like every space is going to be a photovoltaic cell. So that over there is 17 by 17, which means I need 289 photovoltaic cells. That's kind of a lot, but hopefully won't be a huge pain. I'm certainly not going to sit here and craft all of them while we're watching, but I'm going to show you how I plan on going about the process, and then I'll do that part. Just doing the math while I have the calculator open, if I take the 289 cells times a max output of 160 per tick, gives me 46,000 RF per tick, or UI per tick, or whatever it is. Power convert as you will. So I think that's plenty at the start. And this should be a pretty simple process, honestly, and pretty compact. I really like the simplicity of this. So if we go in here, back to the transmutation tablet, can't remember what it's called. So I need the vibrant. If I need 289, that's 4 stacks, basically, I think. That's a little more than 4 stacks. And it takes 2 of these, so I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stacks of vibrant alloy. That's my math I'm going to go with for right now. I then need quartz. Fused quartz. I think you can just use this stuff. I think it'll work fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It may not. I don't know. I'd have to check. I might need the dark fused. Do I need the dark fused? I may have to get dark fused quartz, which is... How do I get that originally? I know I got a little bit playing around with it. There we go. Alloy smelter. Oh, I got to do nether quartz with black. So with ink sacs or black dye. All right, so I'm going to have to produce this, apparently. Never mind. So something along the lines of, let's put this back away. So we'll grab quartz and can I just do black? No. Let's do ink. Should work. Something like that. I did make this enhanced alloy smelter for this very purpose. Not this specific purpose, but at least the creating of the next step. So it's super fast. It takes huge amounts of power with this octadic capacitor in there. It's got 4 million in there. This thing will churn and burn, right? Like it starts to go pretty good. Wait, why did it stop? Okay, there it goes. Don't know what the problem was. But you can see it starts to go pretty good. It's going to take a lot of nether quartz, I'm now realizing. Oh, it didn't. Yeah. Let's just do that. Will it go? Dark fused? No? I don't know, I was getting confused. But this is the way I get my dark fused. So hopefully it won't take a huge amount of time. I'm going to need one of these for each of the photovoltaics. I was thinking I could EMC this, but apparently not. Outside of that, then octatics I can EMC. So, you know, we'll take a bunch of those, and you get the point. So the other thing that is really going to be the time sink that I'm going to do in between talking to you here and whenever I come back from cutting out is the stuff. The actual photovoltaic plate is the other thing I know I can't EMC. What that comes through is the alloy smelter, and you just need this photovoltaic composite that's ground up lapis, ground up coal, and some silicon. Silicon? I don't know. Silicon Valley, but I use silicone caulk, I think. So either way, I'm trying to think, where did this come from? It's from smelting nether quartz. So you take one nether quartz, smelt it into silicone. Definitely don't do all of them that way because you can see nether quartz is 256 EMC. The silicone itself is 24. So make one and then you can just pull all the silicone out you want. But then once you get that, you can just pull that out. So the composite, so you pull that out and then you can throw that into this bad boy as well. So you take that, and you see it will start to knock it out. It's going to take a while because basically every operation here, I think it's going to give me 3. Yeah, it's going to give me 3, so I have to do this 289 times. So that's what I'm going to be doing for the next however long that takes while I watch a YouTube video, or I don't know, maybe even set this up and go do some world quests in Warcraft. I don't know. Like I said, bad decision on my part. I'm going to come back when I have 289 of these in my inventory, and then we'll see where we're going to actually, how we're going to get the power out and where we're going to put it at that point. So I'll be back. All right. So you can see I got a little impatient. I went ahead and in the process whipped out 2 extra alloy smelters, used a couple more of the full photovoltaic of the solar panels, used some more of the panels to process those in order to accelerate. Voila, there we go. That's a big old solar panel. So looking at it, you're gonna see no power. It's dark. There's no solar panel or no solar power happening, which is fine. One thing before I totally forget, I did make this ender avoidant, I guess at this point. And I may just turn the mob farm off in its entirety because it's not really doing anything specifically for me in great measure, other than, again, getting me like the initial wither skeleton skull. So I'm going to turn that off, but I did turn off the enderman because I believe I mentioned this last episode, but them touching the witch water did seem to make them teleport out around the world. So that said, we have the power generation. Like I said, this should be something like 40,000 something RF per tick. You may wonder, if we looked at, say, conduit that I was using just a bit ago, Ender Energy Conduit through Ender IO is only 2,480 per unit. Now, I'm guessing if I was to look at that, that's probably per connection, to be perfectly honest. So if I connected a couple to this, it'd be able to power it. But that said, we're not actually going to use conduits for anything at all for power anymore. We're going to do a jump over to, I'm going to get away from the mob farm so it is not silly loud. We're going to jump away from that and get into something called Flux Networks. This looks amazing, super simple, super straightforward. Takes me back to the days of, like Tesseracts from whatever it is that put that into the game, to do all my remote energy storage and transfer and all that stuff, and not need to worry at all about wiring in the slightest, which I think is perfectly great. So this is pretty simple in terms of what it's structured. The only thing that it takes away, I need to start with this this Flux controller, and it uses this stuff called Flux block, which has EMC, and this Flux, which has EMC, but it mentions that is obtained by throwing redstone into fire or lava. So that said, I need to get a redstone. I should be able to use this to make lava and just have somewhere to put it. Let's just do, no, let's not be silly. Let's do cobblestone. I was going to say, let's just go ahead and go with obsidian just for good measure, but oh, I forgot I'm not still in creative. I was in creative on my test area playing around with extreme reactors, just to decide if I thought it would be something I wanted to do in this setting. And instead, as we see, I decided to do not that. So not going extra or extreme reactors, going with the solar panels for the time being. So I should be able to just, there we go, click that in. No, come back. Okay, there we go. We got the flux. That's pretty much all I need, I think, to get this working. So now I can flux that, grab it. I'm pretty much just assuming that, don't do that. There we go. Guessing I can just block it. Maybe not, maybe like that. Nope. Okay, how do I get the blocks? Oh, I gotta make these little flux cores, which is gonna be then obsidian and flux and eye of ender. All right, obsidian, eye of ender. Let's go over to an actual crafting station, shall we? I gotta make these guys. Not gonna make these? No, because I used all the flux. Of course I did. So the benefit here, like we saw, is everything's EMC capable. So I only need to really plan on making like one of these things. And then we should be able to do it. So flux controllers then are gonna need some of that core, some of those blocks, some of that flux. Let's just get, a bunch of each of those. And there we go, controller. Take one of those. I'll just take two of them because it makes it easier to throw stuff in there. So we got the controller. The other thing I'm going to need then is somewhere to store. So you can see there's three types of storage. There's basic flux storage, which will store up to 256,000 RF. That's 4 seconds, or no, 6 seconds. It's like 6 seconds of time. It's not a really big buffer. Then we get up to 12.8 million. And then at the top end, we get 128 million, which is what we're going to need to do that. Why does glass pane not have an EMC? I guess because glass itself only has an EMC of 1. So you get into fractional EMCs there. We need to make the Herculean to make it anyway. We got to make the basic. So to make the basic, we're going to need the flux blocks, and then I'm going to need glass panes. So let's just get a bunch of them. There we go. So in the process, basic. Let's go there. Take you out. What are these gonna take? More glass panes. Okay. Yeah, I got plenty of glass panes. Let's just make a bunch of those. And then in the process, I should be able to do one of these while I'm at it. Get the Hercules. We'll throw those in there, and then I can pull out the 6 of the Herculeans and should be able to make Das Gargantuan. There you go. And in the process, I want 8 of these. That's my takeaway. I figure at that point, like I said, there's 128 million storage. If I go with 8 of these, that is basically a little over 1 billion RF in terms of a buffer. So that's what this is going to act as. It's a storage, as I mentioned, stores energy from the network. And then basically the ways to get power in and out of the network. Flux point is for removing energy from the network. So you plug machines in to that to get the power out. And the plug, I guess it's better to go, you point machines into the network, you plug power into it. So the plug is what's going to give me the actual ability to send things in. Oops, that's the wrong thing. There we go. So I need 1 plug. Oh man, of blocks. Flux that. There we go. So we're going to do. And again, this would be more of an issue if it wasn't like, what is that? Redstone. If there was an EMC to just automatically, I don't have blocks of redstone. Okay, well, let's fix that. It wasn't easy to just automate this process in terms of, well, not automate, but automatically get as many things as I need through EMC. So there we go. So now we can EMC, we can't EMC that, but let's put all that away, put that away, that, make sure everything's learned. Then all I should need now are more flux. So I should be able to get basically, as many points and as many plugs as I want. And actually and that's what I love about this, I only need 1 plug, and then the points are what will allow me, right? Yeah, allow me to plug things in. All right, I was hoping to do this before the sun came up, but we'll manage anyway, because I want to see how much power I generate in a day with this. So we're gonna need to pick a place to put the power, and I'm pretty sure this can move wherever. So for right now, I'm just gonna plug it in right here. We're gonna take the storage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. easy peasy. And then we're going to take this controller and we're just going to drop it like right there. Click in here. There's a whole bunch of stuff I don't understand. There's debugging the networks and allowed players and network statistics, connections. You can do all this stuff. Eventually, I'll click around in here and figure out what it is. But the main thing I need to do is I need to create. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Create a network. So we're going to just call this solar power. I don't know. Actually, we're just going to call it power. Yeah. Give me power. There's settings here. We can say, public, private, restricted. This is only going to matter if you're playing with other people. Allow conversion should mean that this is going to automatically convert all of the energy types to whatever energy type it is. Tesla, redstone, energy units, joules, AE power. I'm going to throw it to forge energy and just let it hopefully take it away from there. And I don't know. I can just click this to randomize a color. Let's pick something pretty like pink. So we'll do pink, give me power. That creates a network. Click. We'll turn on the power. There we go. So that creates a network. And now basically we just plug things into this network, right? So we go here. I select a network, turn it on. And you can see everything turns pink, including the machines themselves. So we will get that. Kind of racing against the clock just a little bit here. There we go. All right, so there's probably something in here that tells me, yeah, I got all these storage blocks and things connected, yada, yada, et cetera, et cetera. Can control those and manipulate those in various ways. All I need to do, this is what I think is absolutely spectacular. This block is one big block of photovoltaic cells. I break this, there we go. And I then take this one flux plug, click on that, I pick the network. It is now on the network and we're done. We're plugged in. This should get to the point of, why is it not taken? There we go. It's picking up now 37,000 KFE per tick, whatever. Because it's going in forge power. I assume that's why it's KFE. But in my mind, I think those things basically convert 1-to-1 with RF. So that's basically RF per tick. I don't know if this is the maximum you can get, but you can see we're now wirelessly transferring 256 RF per tick. We go back now over to here. We see I'm getting all the pink power. Go pink power. My daughter would be very happy by this if she understood what I was doing. So there we go. That's all it is. And now instead of over here, we'll just probably break the world in the process here. Boop. All right, let me try to get this back down. We don't need conduits. We don't need anything like that. I can't really even get down to them. There we go, there we go, there we go. Boop. Actually, the easier way would be to do this. Break you. So now if I did want to use this smelter, you can see it has power, but to add more power to it, I would just need to flux point it, give it a power, and there we go. It is now filling up with all the power. And this is now running, so everything wireless. So that over there is now, well, technically filling up those guys, and then those guys are filling up this machine. I'm kind of curious. I think you can probably even nest these a little bit like I had it before. These, there we go. That was not fully powered yet. Should be able to now, I assume, just even put it here, and I'm guessing it'll cross over. So we don't have to use any conduits, anything at all anymore. It'll just power this, and it's shoving all the power in here that it can handle. Right now, it's a max of 225 that it can take in, so it's only pushing that much out. So there we go. We now have power taken care of. I'm hoping in the course of a day that it fills up this entire bank. You can see we already have 100 million RF, so it shouldn't take it very long at all to get to 1 billion RF. We could always like super extrapolate out these gargantuan fluxes. We can use EMC to generate them. They're 500,000, so I mean that's technically a lot. That's like 4 nether stars. That's a lot, but it's not effectively a lot for right now in the state that we're in. So we could always produce these and just kind of bank them. But I think this is enough, right? For quote unquote stage 1 of power. I guess it's not stage 1. I guess it's stage 2 technically, because my this guy over here was like stage 1. Good old cold generator at 40 RF per tick, or maybe 80 RF per tick. I can't remember. Up to instead 40. Let's see if it's at full power. Yeah, full power, 46,240 RF per tick, and a billion RF pool of buffer. So There we go. That should do it, I think, for the power. Let's, oops, that's not what I want. Let's see what I can throw in here just for the time being. So whenever I get into power, all I have to do is whip out those points and we'll be good to go. Let me just, for right now, just put this stuff over here. And yeah, you too, don't care. Okay, so another thing I'm gonna try, I don't know if I have all the stuff I need for it, but I wanted to test this out real quick. Quantum, there's a quantum tank. There we go, quantum tank right there. What is this? This is just obsidian, iron nuggets, and bucket. I can make that. Let me get over to an actual place. I'm just curious with how this one works, because I was reading up about this vulcanite amulet, because it says on here, it says right click to fill tanks. And I want to test something. I want to test something. So let's see, I need a bucket. Bucket. Actually, did I happen to, no, okay. Don't know if I played around with that before or not. Iron, just give me some. Obsidian, give me some. All right, so if I quantum tank, and just for good measure, let's learn it in case I want another one. So if this is a tank, if I click on it, empty, but it holds whatever that is. 2.1 million buckets, I think is what it's saying. I want to see something, because I'm just curious. Did it? Nope, okay, but one bucket in there. Okay, I was curious if it would literally, now I can just stand here and click it in, but okay. I was wondering if it would literally fill the tank, because it says right click to fill tanks. Let me actually, because I've got like a drum in here, don't I? What happens if I take an iron drum and click, shift right click? Okay, so it only puts one bucket in at a time. That's what I wanted to test, because that seemed ridiculous. Okay, break and break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Because I was curious if it would literally create. And I don't really need 2 billion buckets, or 2.1 million buckets of lava. I don't really need these at all. I was just curious if it would instantly create it or not, because that's kind of broken. I'm not sure if there's no mechanical user, unless they've changed that. Is there any user at this point? Because they took it out. There's a machine infuser, energetic infusers, but there is normally a block. I believe it is with extra utilities, maybe actually additions. I can't remember which one. I know that I've got like a mechanical, can't type. Yeah, so there's a mechanical miner. It's extra utilities. So it has a mechanical miner. There's also normally a mechanical user. You can see this Ender Porcupine, I think, mentions you can have it with a mechanical user. They must have taken it out because they don't want people to abuse it. Not that there's 8 million other ways to abuse things. But I think that's the only block that will like use something for you that's in this pack. So otherwise I could just have this in that machine and let it just generate stuff. But okay, that I wanted to test. Apparently no go on making the super easy mass amount of lava. The main reason that's easier is just if you could do one click 2.1 million buckets of lava, then you could just fill up a quantum tank and stick it somewhere and you'd be good. Okay, let's see, what's step, I don't know, 2, 3, 4? I can't remember what all I wanted to do. I know I want another star, so let's work on that. First thing I want is wither-proof blocks. Let's actually do proof. So I need to make a cage. Fireproof. I don't care about fire. Something that looks withery-proof. There we go. Ender IO. Wither-proof. Obsidian. It's got EMC-able. Perfect. Let's do that. Whatever I have to do to make that happen. Let's make that happen. Recipe. Okay. Dark. What? Is it not dark? Dark iron. Oh, it comes from dark steel. How do you get dark iron bars out of dark steel? I don't know. Maybe it does metallurgically make sense. So I'll have to make the dark iron bars. We'll need obsidian and we'll need grains of infinity. Whenever I get around to going back to another pack, this is going to be absolutely impossible for me to play the same. Oh, obviously I can't play the same way. But having just all this stuff has spoiled me greatly. I'm going to make the bars. This is the only time I can imagine needing these bars, so let's just... It also is giving me really bad habits of like making things in mass at a time that I don't necessarily need them. So reinforced. So now I can grab that. All right, so this is my my wither-proof substance. Can I make angel blocks in this? Angel block. I can. Can I make them easily? I can. So give me a feather. Beep. What is it? Gold. Gold ingot. And then I think some more obsidian. Oh, that I keep doing that. Don't right click with your alchemy stone. I am now realizing. Alright, there. Should be there, there, there. Nope, that's totally wrong. I think everything was literally in the wrong spot. Okay, give me an angel block. Does that have an EMC? It does. Let's just learn it for good measure. Alright. So the main reason I'm thinking with this is we'll just in case, we'll separate the wither. We'll stick him out here. Bloop. That's where the wither's going to be. And we'll just build a little cage. I don't know, 7? We think 7's big enough? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have to admit, I have very rarely actually bothered to fight the wither in any of my playthroughs of anything in Minecraft. Same with the Ender Dragon. I have never killed the Ender Dragon. I've never seen a reason to. And I played Minecraft, I have to imagine, like thousands and thousands. I gotta remember I'm not in creative. Because it feels so much like I'm in creative with everything else I'm doing. So this could be interesting. About all I know with the wither is he explodes and he... there we go. He explodes and he flies. So I don't want him to fly away. And I guess he withers. Which makes sense. Doop, 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 doop. Make some little bars. Not getting out here. Doop, 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 doop. What's the middle? This is the middle, right? Make a little drop-in spot. Really hope I don't run out of these. I guess all I have to do is pull them out of my infinite inventory here. I don't know why I'm not flying. There we go. So we'll see how this goes. I'm expecting it to go well, to be perfectly honest. But then again, I might have, illusions of creative grandeur in my head where I'm really not as tough as I feel like I am. But I have to assume that I am a point above and beyond. Actually, now that I realize it, you'll notice I don't have my, whatever it is, Qatar. Is that what it's called? Qatar. I accidentally threw it off the edge at one point. I hit Q, went right over the edge. I haven't made another one since then. I'm tempted to just not care. I probably should just to have more oomph behind it, but I'm kind of thinking about just going at it with my Morning Star deal here. Now, technically, I could not do it this way. I'm pretty sure I could just still not fight the wither. I could just go woot and be good. All right, so I think that's my little cage match location. Just give me... Oh, really? Yeah, I thought the angel blocks were like auto break. So we'll do that. I'm going to sleep real quick. I don't know if it really matters. Bling! You can see, like I said, playing around way too much in my creative world with I keep wanting to call it EMC, extreme reactors. But all right, so one thing I'm gonna do is apple. I want to make like a big old golden apple. I can't make a golden apple. Really? I can make a regular golden apple. Let's do that. That's good enough. Do I have one in here? I do. Let's just eat some apples. Because that's going to give me... How long does that give me regen? 3 seconds of regen. That's not a lot of regen. Because I'm sure there's something that will like prevent wither. But all I could find when I was just flipping around is obviously wither-proof blocks. And then different things. So I'm a little concerned that the wither is going to kill me. Like in terms of the status effect. And especially since I don't have any milk. But I'm just going to hold on to these like apples. I'm going to chow down on these apples as I need to. And we'll see how that goes. All right, so I think that'll do it. Then I'm going to need some soul sand. What? Are you kidding me? Do I not have soul sand? How do I not have soul sand yet? Okay. Well, I should have, I hope. Of any actual, there we go, okay. What is it? It's sand, right? Sand in which water? Yes. Would you please? There we go. Kind of forgot this little zone was in here. There we go. So the weather hasn't turned out quite the way I had hoped or planned. Basically, I don't have a plan. So I'm kind of figuring this out as I go. Since I don't have a world to bury him under and all that kind of stuff, apparently I don't know. And I don't have a ranged weapon, and I'm too lazy to get around to doing the mob crusher. I got a different approach that I'm going to go with. So I'm going to make some more of these Swift Wolf band rings. I've got 2 more of these going. And you can kind of see I do have set up, it's a lot easier now to set up some of these things with the flux points going in here. And then made a whole bunch of the liquid glowstone, liquid redstone using the Tinker's smeltery, which makes these so much faster. That said, the reason I want these is I can do something in Project E with things called gem gear. So there's one tier above where I'm at right now with the red matter chest plates, and I think technically the defense is better, but it's not for the defense. If I look at these gem boots, I think they fly, which I don't actually want them to, because my reading up on the internet says that their form of flying is more like a jetpack kind of approach. I don't want that. But they give me plus 100% speed. And what I'm running into right now is the fact that I cannot seem to keep the nether in that little box, and I also can't seem to catch him when the little jerk gets out of there. So we're gonna, this is my hope. If this works, yay. If not, I'm gonna be kind of a sad person. Can I get some more boots? I don't really want to red. Here, let me pull these out and then make sure these are there just in case I want to have them back. So let's put, I think it's this, and this, and this, and this. And we get these big fancy gem boots. Beautiful. So now, it should be, although my fly speed doesn't actually seem any faster. Let's check. Let's do a test. Let's take from here to the barn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, about 5. Let's take the boots off. Woo. That didn't work. I wasn't like double speeding when I went through it anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I have some significant concerns about the fact that plus speed doesn't seem to affect my flying speed. So this may not have been really any valiant effort. I mean, I need them anyway, and it's super nice to be able to run like this, but they don't seem to. The thing I'm running into is I can't go up fast enough to catch him. Although right now I'm going up really fast. I don't know if he can outrun me then. So let's hope not. All right. Do I have soul sand? I have soul sand. I've tried this and it has not worked so far. I've had to let him like basically bury himself in the void because I couldn't keep up with him. So there's something I'm missing here in terms of needing to have shush, just shush. The ability to have some way to catch him, some way to keep him contained, something. Let me grab a bunch of these reinforceds. My other thought is to literally just make like an entire layer of these reinforced bricks to just trap him in, because for whatever reason he's getting thrown out. The other thing I tried here that might be a difference is this guitar. I noticed like originally I had pumped it up so that it would be doing as much damage as possible, but I'm going to go with Slay. How do I change the mode? Change the mode. I don't remember how I can change my mode. M? No? C? D? Somewhat in here. There's a mode, Slay Hostile, and then there's Slay like all. It shouldn't matter there. But I am thinking I want to bring it down because it does some AoE and such, I think, when you have it powered up. I wonder if that's what's pushing him out. So those are my two choices in terms of what maybe I can change. If this doesn't work, then I'm pretty much going to have to just like make a mob crusher or something, or make a ranged weapon, I guess. Probably the easier solution. So let's just do this. Make sure I got everything I need. I still have some, there we go, some golden apples. These seem super helpful. This is good. And then if I want to close this off, there we go. So I'm just going to fly away from him. I'm even going to go below him. So he's going, right? Whoa, I just made myself fall down. He's actually hurting himself, so I'm almost tempted to just literally like stand right here. This seems like a viable way to kill him. And it's kind of a cheap way to do it, but I think I'm just going to let him hurt himself. Just to avoid the total annoyance that is this. But no, that said, I do want to get him there. This guy's 24. This is, I'm actually even going to use the Morning Star instead. How fast does it break? This. I was like, as long as it doesn't like knock chunks out. I mean, he's just blowing himself up, so I may as well let him. If he gets out, I'm gonna be a. He's so loud though. Good grief. All right, let's just jump in and see if I can not have him fly away. Gosh darn it, he flew away. How do I make him not fly away? Where'd he go? Totally lost him. There he is. Attack! Can't attack. Whoop. Now I can't even hit him. There we go. I think I made him mad. Now he'll just fight me, I think. There we go. That's all I needed. Like, I can kill him with no problem. Eat this. Okay. Did I get another star? Okay, that was ridiculous. There's probably something I'm totally missing there. But that said, you know what? Watch this. This is why I don't have to be bothered with it. Let's get rid of this and this and this and this and this. All these things. Anything I can get rid of, let's just get rid of. That probably was a mistake. But now, another star. There. How you like me now? Right? We'll just make it rain nether stars. There. Forget you, Wither. I don't need you anymore. So, all right. So we have access to nether stars now. So that should give me the ability to make a couple of other things. And I mean, in the process, I can now move like silly fast. So that's nice too. I like going fast. So, all right. So we've got the power. And if you can see, it took a little longer than I expected to do the Wither. But even in that amount of time, it did chunk up all billion RF. So I don't know, like we could easily, here, let me get rid of this silliness that I did. It's really just as easy as going, what's it, Gargantuan? Is that the right one? Yeah. Oops, not that many. Because we can literally just go 1, 2, 3, 4, boop, 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 and just put these on network. And oh, it tells you here how much you have. That's interesting. So it says I'm, I guess, 72% full. But if we do this, then I'll all of a sudden have 2 billion, I guess, and that's something. The only thing I know of with that and have an experience that takes this much power is a draconic thing situation. So there we go. We'll make it up to a 2 billion RF buffer. And I think that'll fill up super fast as well. So that said, not as smooth as I had expected, but still a lot of power jump. All the power, basically, literally, from a energy standpoint, got the Withered Dead in a very impressive fashion. I need to do some boning up on wither killing, apparently, because like I said, haven't needed to. I wish there was a nether chicken. I would totally get on all over that guy. But that said, we got what we needed, so it's all good in that regard. And yeah, now next episode, I can figure out what to do with all that. So that leaves us either doing, I don't know, some not Ender IO, some environmental tech, because I will eventually need to plug this power into a void miner if I want to upgrade into the big fancy solar panels that do like the millions of RF per tick, or, you know, something along those lines. Like I said, just trying to take this pack through to its kind of natural conclusion. I got rid of my quest book, didn't I? Quest book, thank you. So there's lots of things we could do. One thing I think with the nether stars I can do is over here, start getting some of these things knocked out, like the compound bow. That probably would have been helpful for this fight in terms of doing damage. Again, with the main focus just being getting these $1,000, so that I can then start making even more money with probably primarily, talking is hard at this point, refined canola oil. I think is the easiest one I've seen in terms of making money, is my plan. So that said, thank you so much for coming by. I'm going to slice and dice and edit this thing up into something that makes some sort of sense. I hope you have a good time. I hope you had some fun with the watching. If you have any tips for a better way to handle the wither killing in a skyblock world, I would definitely be interested in that context. Other than that, wherever you go from here, hope you have an amazing time. Can't wait to talk to you again next time. Take it easy.